History of Batik industry in Sri Lanka. Batik has rich history in Sri Lanka that dates back to the 18th century. Originated in Indonesia and introduced to Sri Lanka by Dutch, at the turn of the 19th century, the batik industry in Sri Lanka has developed into a unique form of textile art exclusive to the country. The Dutch brought with them a number of skilled craftsmen who taught the locals the art of batik. Why is batik important to Sri Lanka? It provides employment opportunities to thousands of people across the country, particularly in rural areas. Batik is also an important aspect of Sri Lankan culture, and it plays a significant role in the country's tourism industry. Contemporary batik, while owing much to the past, is markedly differently from the more traditional and formal styles. For example, the artist may use etching, discharge dyeing, stencils and other tools for waxing and dyeing, wax recipes with different resist values, and work with silk, cotton, wool, leather, paper, or even wood and ceramics. The rise of fine batik in Indonesia hinged on the availability of imported high-thread count cotton fabric from Europe after the Industrial Revolution. Women create resist patterns on this cloth by gliding molten hot wax from a copper stylus called canting, which barely touches the cloth. Coarse cloth would cause snags and wax drips. Both the surface and the underside of the cloth are waxed, so that the pattern is complete on both sides of the cloth. After each waxing, the cloth is dyed and then boiled to remove the wax. Then another element of the design is waxed and the process is repeated. The use of a stylus to create a hand-drawn batik pattern is called tulis. Writing, the creation of tulis batik takes as much as 2 weeks for the waxing and a little over a month by the time the final dye bath is completed. Care must be taken to keep it from cracking the wax, as this indicates poor craftsmanship. Although Indonesia has emerged as one of the important homes of the batik trade, followed by Malaysia and Thailand, batik making has a long history elsewhere. No evidence of very old cotton batiks have been found in India, but fresco in the Ajanta caves depict head wraps and garments which could well have been batiks. In Java and Bali, temple ruins contain figures whose garments are patterned in a manner suggestive of batik. By 1677, there is evidence of a considerable export trade, mostly of silk from China to Java, Sumatra, Persia and Hindustan. In Egypt, linen and occasionally woolen fabrics have been excavated bearing white patterns on a blue background. These are the oldest known dating from the 5th century AD. They were made in Egypt or Syria. In Central Africa, resist dyeing using cassava and rice paste has existed for centuries in the Yoruba tribe of southern Nigeria and Senegal. Indonesia, particularly the island of Java, is where batik has reached the highest peak of excellence. The Dutch brought Indonesian craftsmen to teach the craft to Dutch warders in several factories in Holland from 1835. The Swiss produced imitation batik. A wax block form of printing was developed in Jasa using a cap. By the early 1900s, the Germans had developed mass production of batiks. There are many examples of this form of batik, as well as hand-produced work in many parts of the world today. Computerization of batik techniques is a very recent development. At a time when the fabric of life is economically torn, maybe batik will be a colorful pastime in Sri Lanka.